Good morning, traders. I'm looking at SMPL right here. This is the 1 minute chart. This is the VWAP, and you can tell it's out of range. The daily looks like this, which is kind of scary because the past 3 days it's been really red, and it looks like it's recovering a bit. You can tell the bottom is right here. So it hit that bottom and it's trying to come back up. And rightfully so. When a stock moves like this, you want it to come back just to make up for, lost time. But on the 15s, it looks good. Look at that. The amount of movement or volume it took. And it just broke this the most recent highs right here, and it's out of range. So, but most importantly, the 15s. All of these 15s, and it's exponential. The volume is a little dead right now. Well, not really. It's higher than it's been the past these three 15s. So it's showing that there's some action, some restrictions. Some people don't believe should stay up there, and neither do I. But now the question is, when do you enter? If you want to see me without a delay, or see my actions without a delay, be sure to be on newbie trading Discord chat room. It's right here. I'm posting right now that I'm live. They're in Baidu, and JNewbie is talking about Cone. There it is right there. Here's some movement. Let's see. There's a 3 cent spread. Roughly 10 cents of a risk right there. If it goes under here, I may take some. Say 23.59. But if it goes over, then we'll look at it again. Hey Samir, good morning. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, looks like I totally missed that one at what time? 10:10. Weight Watchers. That's a beautiful one. It is. That was a really nice chart, Samir. It was a fast one. That looks a little scary. So as usual, when I'm looking at a stock, I'm reassessing. So on the daily, let's see if I can find a trend line here. It looks like there's one up here, 23.91, which is really close to 24. So watch out for that right there. So I guess let's draw a trend line. Oh, I drew an arrow. Okay, stupid. Like that. Okay. Is there one any below that? Maybe right here? And that's where it's at right now. And then on the 15s, yeah, the 15s looks good. 5s. Look at all those green candles on 5s. And it is ramping somewhat. I mean, no, it is ramping in volume. And now people are deciding if it's going to break here or not. Volume is kind of low, but it is what it is. Yeah, it was a nice scalp for Whirlwind. A Whirlwind. Weight Watchers. I'm in gaming mode. The Discord app is talking about Baidu. Double Dip was in Baidu. Oh yeah, that was nice. Guys, check out the dude. Today I'm a little. Take a look at that action right there, guys. That I didn't quite. Trade. Look at that signal right there. They're on a volume. So let's see what it looks like in the 15s. Gosh, what is wrong with this chart right now? Let me get rid of the VWAP. Look at that. Very nice. Okay, I'm short some here. Short SMPL at 2360. Okay, so I pretty much entered at the 5-minute trigger right here. I wonder if that's a 1-minute trigger as well, because it went really fast. Now, 1 minute would have been here. That would have been a bit early. All right, so I'm in at 2360 right now. You can get in at 23. Well, right now you can get in at 2362. Let's see. I like to add show you guys 9 EMA. So I'll be under moving averages. Exponential. Right there. A lot of times when it comes to something like this, one of the targets is the 5-minute 9 EMA, 9-minute exponential moving average, and it's down here. But it is coming back up. So from here, So from here, it depends on how heavy you are in the trade. For me, let me just show you one more time. The bad thing about this stock is the recovery. The good thing is I have it near the trend lines on the daily. It is creating an exponential movement, but the volume is sloppy. And it is ramping up in this area too. So there are two things bad about it. The the volume could be because it wanted to break the previous high for today, and that in the 15s the volume looks sloppy. So this is something that I only put. I don't go as heavy as I would want to until I see something actually happen. If it goes over, if it actually breaks through this trend line, which is like 2375 ish, then I may have to reassess and add. I'd still have room to add, but at the same time, I'm only like I'm not that heavy in considering all things considered. Momo, Samir? Oh yeah, Momo looks. Yeah, Momo's trying to. Um, got tired from yesterday, didn't it? Hey, good morning, Lindsay. So I'm in SMPL at 2360. Announced it at 11:22 on the Discord app. I lost this mojo. Yeah, it did. So this is pretty ugly. The fact that the 5 minute is coming right back to this entry, but it's okay. Let's see if it breaks over this high of 2375, which it looks like it is. I mean 2373. Now it's 2375. It's hitting that trend line that I created on the daily. Just a reminder, guys, I'm only in half my shares, half the amount I usually would have because of the setup. Samir, a lot of times, it's of course it depends on the way the stock looks. As I keep rotating time frames for the chart, if it still looks good or if it actually starts looking better, because I have a sometimes get in a little bit early. If it if it still looks good, I may double or average in depending on how I feel. Sometimes it may say I have 500 shares in and it goes against me, but it still looks good. I may add like 250 shares and 3/4 of my shares. I won't even double down. But if strangely it looks better later, I'll add as well. But oftentimes I catch myself doing the opposite, which a lot of people would disagree on, right? A lot of people would be on the safer side, but a lot of times being on the safer side means that you, a lot of times when you're on the safer side of a counter trade, you feel like you're too late. That's what I'm trying to get at. It depends on the type of trade you're doing. With a counter trade, a lot of times it works immediately. This time it's not working for me. So, hold on one second. It's like, this thing's acting stupid with me right now. Because we're creating a new, yeah, I'm going to take out half of my shares right here. And just wait for it. Okay. Because now it's going against me. But the matter still stands that there are this many 15-minute candles. It's still ramping up. So it's one of those, it's just going to be one of those annoying ones. But it's no sweat. I'm not aiming to revenge trade this one. The fact stands that it has this ramp up. And it has potential to get a little bit higher. And I don't want to have to double up on it and then have to make up for so much. Gosh, why is there so much space here? I just messed up my chart. There it is again. I made short right here when it goes below this trend line. So I'm going to add when it goes below 23.75. So 23.74. Look at that volume right there. That suggests something. I'm going to wait a little bit to see if it goes down. That's a lot of volume right there. That's just looking at the time and sales in the level 2. I want to see which way it suggests it's going to go. Yeah, I tried to push it back up. But it took a lot to get it to be pushed back up. There's 178,000 shares for green. Okay, I'm short again. At 23.74. So right now my current average is 2369 on SMPL. Let me explain one more time. Looking at the time and sales, I saw a huge buyer that created this pop, and he was green. When that happens, guys, we know it was one guy popping it up, and that suggests that it's going to come back down because he's just he's done. He's out. He's out of the game. Good morning, Reese. Gosh, this thing is stubborn. Let's see if it gets the next trend line. We look at this. So it's very possible it wants to come up to here at the 24. So be prepared to scale out a little bit and then jump back in. Just enough times to get to the 24. When you get to 24, guys, that's when I may have to say, this isn't working right. This isn't what. But at the same time, we're still looking for the ideal setup. And right now, ideally, it's set up okay. Because look, at the 15, the volume is increasing quite a bit. So it has a goal to meet before it actually comes back down. We just need to make sure that our average is within range of profits. And this is what I love about counter trading, guys. Even when I got in, and I admittedly is in earlier than I thought I would have to be, because obviously I always assume I'm at the right ideal spot, right? But I am going to be smart about it and be able to average in further and further to get to the ideal area. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have two trend lines. One is at 23.75, which just passed kind of, but look at that, guys. And then the next one is at 23.94, but I'll round up to 24 because it's so close to a whole number or whole tens. Because of that 25-cent range, I'm willing to average to that area just to get a good proper number average, and then I can just get my profits when it comes down. I hope that makes sense, guys. So it's not the fact that I'm chasing, because I see the potential for the short. It's just a matter of being there when it gets there. So even if it goes back down to here, which will be the next support line in my opinion, after it passes this range, 23.56 would be a nice profit already, because I'm pretty much 3/4 in of my initial size. Is it 3/4? Yeah, about 3/4. Thanks for confirmation, Samir. I just realized the lady on Trade Ideas is quiet. I have my volume down low time. But you know, while I'm doing this, if you're just watching this and getting bored, check out this chart right here, the counter trend, counter one, I call it, and just scan around. Most of these are probably doing a really good job in one fashion or another, or they're potential trades. So NYT. Yeah, NYT would have been a beautiful one, but I gotta stare at this one right now. But it doesn't matter. I don't want to confuse you guys, but you can check out NYT. This one's going a bit. So every time this happens, when it actually moves, then I'm going to create my stop. And I'm not going to, I generally don't make them live. I just have the number down ready for an exit. So basically, I have a cover. I put in, since the high is 23.89, I put in like 23.94, and then I would exit just to make sure. So it's basically a market exit. Or a market cover. I just get a little. I just don't want people to see my order, so I just don't put it in. Call me superstitious. I don't know. Just gotta break down this area right here to 23.68. As long as the volume's down, then we're all good.
Pins.
Right now there's a 5 cent spread. The level 2 looks good. A good looking level 2 for a short is when the ask has larger cumulative numbers than the bid. Damn it, I didn't see that part of the chart. This ridiculous chart is not. Look at that. I messed up the chart. Let me just add some space just so I'm up to date. But again, here's the daily.
Pins.
The 15s is looking really good. Look at the amount of effort it's taking. Now I wish it would just come back now, but I guess it's not ready quite yet, but it will be. A lot of volume here. That could mean two things. It's either good or it's bad. So we'll see. Guys, if you're just getting in and you're not in this trade, SMPL, I wouldn't suggest getting in on it. Especially, I would never suggest following me just to follow. Only enter what I would say with children is called parallel play. Parallel trade. If you're in it with me, then you're in it with me. But if you're looking at it right now, it's not a pretty chart entirely. It's more like a fadeaway now because it's not exponentially moving up and dropping down and getting your profits like in 5 minutes, which I would love personally. Like right now, it's more like a waiting game and making sure you're on top and then watching it fade away. Today I only have a few things to do,
Yes.
so I don't really mind just staying on the chat for a little while. Um, yeah. Um, Reese, how long did it take to be comfortable, confident enough to in your own abilities to learn to trade as an income source? Um, when I started realizing the importance of money and traded when I was married, it took me a year to get comfortable, a little over a year. Yeah, and that's after learning to trade when I was in high school, when it was easy because money meant nothing to me. It was really truly a game. But when I actually had to retire from teaching because I had something going on with my head, something called a tortuous carotid artery, and they said that I had to not stress, and that's impossible when you're a teacher, you know. So I decided to retire, and from there, um, it got better, and I didn't have to worry about that issue, and I got into this, which is probably more stressful. That's not the irony of it, right? But it was fun at the same time. So yeah, it's a strange deal. It's there's a rush in trading, but you suppress it. So I don't know if I'm ever truly comfortable, but at the moment when I'm in a trade, I feel like I'm comfortable. There was one. Here's a story. There was one time my friend and I, we back then I was really into racing, and in Austin, Texas, there's a lot of hills and mountains, or not mountains. They're basically just elevations. And there was this one road that we would take that would wind all the way to the top, kind of like the cartoon Initial D. So we would just fix our cars just to handle drifts on the on those windy roads, and we would go fast enough to lose a little bit of traction, which is drifting. And my friend, I was in the passenger side, and you know, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty helpless when I'm a passenger. And he clipped the edge, and we almost lost control for for that split second. But for that split second, it feels like 10 seconds because you see your life flash before your eyes, you know, and everything goes really slow. But at that moment, it's not scary anymore. I don't know if you guys ever felt that near death experience, but this is one of mine, and I don't know if it's because I've been trading enough to understand the concept of how to suppress this kind of emotion, but it's almost as if it's out of your hands, just like trading, and you just focus. You focus about just everything or nothing. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the same concept as trading. Um, you have to understand that you'll never get to the point of being comfortable because you'll never be able to control it. And as men, I don't know, but for me, controlling something is ideal. But So you have to learn to let it go and just put yourself in an ideal state of mind. And that's what trading is. Right, Reese. Emotion becomes a background noise. But of course, like I mentioned yesterday's stream, w- the weekend was a nightmare for me. Um, I it comes back to me because personally I'm an emotional person, so I'm not probably the ideal trader, but I am conditioned. I am trained to understand how to control it. But am I managed? I'm not entirely sure. But when I'm in a trade, I am because look at me. I'm talking right now. I'm in honestly, I'm in a little over 1,000 shares, and the trade is looking like shit, but it's still looking okay. So it's just how trading is. Um, it's like I would have to say it's almost like having a girlfriend that you really love, and you know she doesn't quite love you as much, but you know if you just stay cool, it's just going to end up right in the right eventually. That's a guy's point of view. If you read her correctly, which is, you know, statistically it's possible. So yeah, it's just like stocks. Hope that makes sense. Man, I need to stop talking about these references. Samir, your concept of focus and your analysis of money really helps because it really makes a difference. I'm still working on controlling emotions, but it's definitely a huge difference. Yeah, yeah, thanks. I'm glad it helps. Yeah, guys, I don't know how to stress this enough, but it I have a really good friend, and he's a smart guy, I think. He's an arm wrestler, and you know, he said he wanted to trade, but currently, he he had a flood happen to him. So I understand that there's a desperation. There's a little bit a need for money, and he wanted to learn to trade at that moment. I told him I don't want to teach you because when you need it, when you need trades to work, you're not in the right time frame, you know, mindset. So don't the best way to trade, and I've heard some people say that. I don't know if they're copying me, but I've been saying this, preaching this forever. You can only trade when money means nothing or very little to you. If trading is your primary income, the, you're very likely to fail. Either that, the only way you will succeed if it is your primary income is if you learn to focus and find something else that's more important than money. So I don't know if this was the aftermath of trading, but I find my health and helping animals to be more important than trading and money alone. You know, and my wife, of course. Yeah, exactly, Samir. People trade because they need the money. That's not that is a horrible mindset, and that's a lot of pressure. But if you can handle the pressure, more power to you. Just imagine someone wanting to trade and they're using this as a primary source of income, and then they keep failing, and then they find a job. By the time they find that job, and then go back and trade at the same time, they're probably going to be a pretty good badass on the in trading. But I would not suggest doing that, and that's how you blow up your account. If money means nothing to you, why trade? I don't know, man. That's a really good question, Lindsay. That's the irony of it all. But personally, I'm trading because I have family. Well, I'm trading live because I have family and friends that wanted to learn to trade um, um, after the New Year's. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna. I've had a lot of requests. I have a lot of fans that I personally admire, that I wouldn't mind going live, but I'm going to be more cautious this time. So, so that's why I'm here. But if I'm not live, then I would still have this stuff on and do it whenever I have time. But why do you? So the question was, if money needs nothing to you, why trade? Because it could be an additional source of income. If you're good at it, why? To me, right now at this point, if I'm good at it, why stop? So I'm good at a few things. Um, I'm okay at arm wrestling. I'm top three in Texas. I'm I've been told I'm really good at teaching dogs, so that's my passion, and hopefully that could be my income, which it is at the moment. It does it pales in comparison to the amount of income I could make on trading, but I met my number, and that's what I'm not greedy. I met a number, and I'm able to support and run a facility that's being built really soon. So if you haven't checked my Citizen Canine channel, you should check that out, or just add me on Facebook, and you'll see me working with my dogs. Um, I'm considered a professional now. I've been working with military canines and police canines. I, I'm uh, I just I just use what I teach. Man, there's not much of a difference between teaching middle schoolers and high schoolers and teaching dogs, honestly. So after that, I'm in a really good place. I have a loving wife. Um, I'm healthy, and trading is getting easier and easier. Victor, okay in arm wrestling top three here. So I don't know if that's considered modest. I am proud of being top three. Um, but I'm 42 now, so I'm no spring chicken. So some people call this old man strength. I have a goal, just like I have in trading. I was going to be done in trading when I hit my number. I'm doing this for fun, pure fun, and in arm wrestling, the same thing. By the time I hit 45, I plan on retiring because I don't want to hurt myself. I injure myself every year arm wrestling, but it's so much fun. So I found venues for everything in my life. I found a passion. I found a means of income, or to get to my goals, and I found a place where I can exert all my anger, frustration, and adrenaline on. And that's my trifecta. Something that keeps me healthy, something that is profitable, and something I'm passionate about. Samir, how do you become good at arm wrestling, lifting more weights? Personally, mine, yeah, I lift, I, I, I bodybuild a bit, um, but I think most of my winning, there are plenty of arm wrestlers that can beat me that are smaller than me, and a lot of them have conditioned themselves through hard labor. Like, if you ask a lot of them, some of them are pipe fitters, I'm assuming they wrench a lot. Personally, I was into cars a lot, and jokes aside, my father only owned Fords when I was a kid, and I worked on those cars every week.
BPMC.
Because, well, I mean, cars back then didn't last like they used to. So I worked on them all the time, man. And I used manual tools. So my forearm got, you can tell my forearm got pretty big just working on it. So I have this forearm muscle that's been conditioned since I was like child labor, man, 7 years old. And then I became a cello player since middle school, so my fingers are pretty strong. I just happened to have the condition, and I just needed to learn how to utilize it. And most importantly, arm wrestling is this really strange pressure called side pressure that nobody practices because it's a dangerous move. That's how people break arms. But arm wrestlers have this side pressure that they practice that nobody else will. So there's a if you're 200 pounds full of muscle and you're arm wrestling a professional arm wrestler that's 150 pounds, most chances you'll lose because you don't have that side pressure that they've been practicing for over a decade. Victor, I love your training videos, but I also watch videos on your fitness regime if you would consider making some. Sure. Um, awesome. But I wouldn't put it on my Albert Ding channel. I'll probably put it on Texas Arm Wrestlers. That's my other channel. But I don't really talk about myself because I like promoting other people. But yeah, I love to share what I do. But at the same time, I like to be underestimated. So I really don't show what I do. Maybe on my Instagram. My Instagram is where I get cringy, guys. I just show pictures of my progress. But because older people aren't on Instagram generally, so I try to stay as conservative as I can on Facebook, and then when I feel like I'm getting cringy, I go on my Instagram. Right, Smear is down to pronation and supination, and this weird side pressure that puts a lot of tension in this area right here. Okay, hold on one second. It's been a while, and I need to reassess this stock. So it hasn't quite hit the 2392, and it looks like the 15 looks like this. This triangle is either or. It's not a bull or a bear. The volume is growing, so good for you if you didn't enter this one with me. But it still looks promising. It looks promising in this fashion right here. If I right here. This looks more of a bear flag than a bull flag, but it's kind of more of like an isosceles. But the problem still lies that it's been heavily red and now it's green. So it's retracing back. So I guess if I have to, a Fibonacci would be a nice one to show if I can figure it out where that is. Quick study. Alpha. Gosh. Well, a Fibonacci would show you the selected points. But yeah, I'm thinking it's still questioning if it should hit 2393 or something, and it just hasn't yet, so it's just kind of like stranded right there. But I still feel like it should come down a bit, and then before it comes back up. So this could be like a small profit now, which sucks. But it's going a little bit now. But it still needs to break down this area 75 and needs to stay down for a while. There it goes. Oh, thanks, Double Dip. It's catching up, man. But you know what they say, Asian don't raisin. That doesn't rhyme. But they say it. When you type it out, it sounds better. It's okay. My average is 23.69. Um, it's coming down too fast, but let's just see if it's going to be able to work its way down again. So this see what I mean by it's coming down too fast. When it comes down too fast, it pops back up. Hey, morning, Luck. Glad you could make it. Luck is a Luck follows someone called Madaz. I think he's really popular, and he's very good at explaining things. If you want to check out his channel, I don't know who he is really, but I think I crossed one of his few channels, and the way Luck explains how he trades, um, it's a morning thing, but he does one of the very popular things I noticed, and I don't see anyone getting heat about it, which, unlike my counter trading, is how the fact that penny stocks are, in my opinion, a lot of them are scams. Not scams, but they're all rumors. And then people get pumped by the rumor. I guess it's like a pump and dump. I don't want to use that word. Um, they practice something that you ever see those penny stocks that go up really fast, and then a lot of people bet against it. I shouldn't say bet either. People short against it, and and that's what a lot of people do. And the great thing about it, just like gap trading, is it's in the morning, so you can resume your your day job. Yeah, he's a morning scalper. So the thing, guys, is this, and that's the reason why I don't want to be part of this YouTube community. Is I noticed that everybody has their niche, and a lot of their niches is make money fast, and then they find out what people want. Well, they want to be able to trade, but they don't want to be able, they don't want to quit their day job. So there are people that say, well, we'll just announce to you when we're going to trade, and you can just jump in whenever. But then you notice that they're doing really small caps. Well, the thing about small caps is when you pop something and you jump in, you actually, and they'll announce it almost like 30 seconds to a minute later. By then it's too late. But he'll have 1,000 people following him, and you'll jump in, you'll pump that stock up, and he'll make his money. That's one niche. He'll make his money, he'll get richer, and he'll keep telling you guys, look at me, look how rich I am, follow me, and you'll be rich too. And you don't even have to be in front of the computer. He'll just announce it on your phone. That's one niche. Another niche is gap trading, which is not an it's a niche, but it's not. These aren't scams. Well, the one I just mentioned kind of sounds like one, though, doesn't it? But I'm not going to call anybody out. Another one is a gap trade. Gap trade is another niche where I can tell you you can keep your day job, just follow me for 30 minutes, and you can make all of your money. And he's very right at many areas. Most traders are there in the morning, so the movement is not being manipulated by algorithms. But you have to be awake. You have to have a stomach. You have to be very fortified. You have to be able to stomach that kind of stress, which a lot of people can't. The movement is extreme, and the amount of money that you make off of it, and the ratio of wins losses, is is sketchy. It's like 3 to 1. I'm not entirely sure, but because when it pops up, you always look like you're too late, unless you look at the pre-market. You always feel like you're late and you're chasing. You basically are chasing. You're not fast enough. You're not as fast as hedge funds. So even if you have light speed or speed trader, that's the problem with gap trades. That's why you have to be able to stomach the fact that you feel like you're late, and so it's really, in my opinion, is almost impossible especially with the lag of a 2 second lag. It's almost impossible unless you're over the phone and there's only a split second lag saying, I'm going to type it in now. But by then, you're not really trading, are you? You're just following somebody else. But that does fortify you. So there's nothing wrong with following these kind of people.
EXAS.
And then the worst kind of person niche is you're going to get rich. That is rarely the case. You just trick because it really really fucks up your mindset. The fact that why aren't I rich yet? You can't think like that. When you think like that, you're going to fail. So that is just human psychology, is the human behavior. We're so fickle. Humans are fickle. Even if you acknowledge it to yourself, it doesn't change anything. We want everything right now. And that's why a lot of people are trading, because they want it now. And trading seems to be that way, the doorway to success. It's not. You will fail at least twice before you become really good. And if you never fail, you're a little too cautious. That's how I see it. And if you're too cautious, you may succeed, but it's going to take forever for you to get there. And that's the sad truth. Yeah, Locke. I used to trade like that. I think I mentioned that, and we were messaging each other on Facebook. It's definitely something. I don't I don't definitely can't knock on him for doing what he does. It's pretty cool thing. So guys, yeah, if you want to check out what Locke is saying, Matt has he has a big following, and well deserved. Just not my kind of thing. What am I doing right now? I'm shorting SMPL. I averaged in at 63. I'm sorry, 23.69, and right now it's like going sideways. But yeah, let me just because I'm just blabbering on right now, trying to fill in space on this stream. Right now it's retracing upwards. There's three big red candles on the daily, and it's trying to make its way back up. But in the 15s at that time, it was looking like this. It has an exponential movement, and the volume was pretty much increasing a bit. I don't like this red candle there. That looks like a reset. So on the daily, going back to the daily, I found two trend lines that I could draw. One right here and one right here. 23.92, which is close to 24. So I'll just call it 24. Right up here, 24. This is a really good area because you see it's right in between both of these red candles. This is a really good trend line for it to know that that's a good stopping point. Now, like I said, at the time in the 15s, there wasn't showing any red candles and it was exponential, so that was great. So right now is not an ideal setup, but it hasn't met its potential of this 24. Once it hits that 24, then I reassess it, and then I can average in some more. My entry was 23.69, so I tried to catch it right when it went below this area right here, but then I kept trying to pop back up. So a lot of traders still believe that it should go to that next trend line that I drew up here at the 23.92 to 24. So when this happens, if I entered a little too early, which I obviously did to some degree, um, does it look that way in the 5 minute? Let me see. So see right there, 2369 is an ideal entry if you're talking about entry on fives. But of course, it hasn't broke down past that five yet. So I'm still in the good. I'm still having a good average, but it's still being being a little stubborn, trying to want to hit that area up there, which is fine. If it stays up there, if it spikes past, then I may add for it to go back down. But at the moment, this is not. This is just one of those things that happens on counter trends sometimes. Sometimes it flies up and it falls down, which is ideal for me because then I can keep this stream nice and sweet, short, sweet. But this one is going sideways, and then I'm just gonna have to wait for it to fade out a little bit. Worst case scenario is that it goes up there and it stays there, and then basically I'll be down 20 cents, 25 cents, which is it's fine by me. That's why I'm able to double up on it because I know my range. 24 is its max. At least that's theoretically, of course, that's its max. And if it goes past that, then I'm out because I have no idea what it's doing. J Newbie Trading on Discord is watching AMAT. It's also on the counter trend chart right here on the trade ideas. Looks like this. Beautiful. Much prettier than mine. Look at that. Increase some overall volume and this breakout right here. Passes wedge, breaks out. Let's look at the 15s. 15s is ridiculous. Look at that ramp up. That's a nice one. I may actually have to try that one. But so basically it went down, right? And then it flew back up. So it's 30 cents, it's about 30 cents past that area, the previous high. On the daily, that's a nice trend line right there at 23. It has a possibility of wicking and coming back to, 63. Coming back to 63 because of this right here. So is that what it did? Yeah, pretty much. It went to 63 and then it popped back up. Look at that range, guys. Down here and all the way up. 62.10, now it's 63.35. Yeah, Log. Algorithms don't tend to interfere. In fact, sometimes they go haywire. And that's the beauty of things. If the volume's nice and low and steady, and it's moving up irregularly, that looks great. That really catches a lot of counter trenders' eyes like mine, and trade ideas, and that's when I know there's going to be a nice move. That's the best thing about uh, these bigger stocks. They're more predictable, in my opinion.
Check.
Yeah, keep an eye on AMAT. Okay, SMPL is at that area. Is at that line here that I drew. Let me just redraw it because I drew it back here a long time ago. Just gotta see what's gonna happen soon. But I'm gonna keep this running and see what happens for this after this breakout. I may add. There's 24 right there. Okay, hold on. 1 second. I need to stay on this. I need to see what happens here.
Shack.
So again, looking at the daily, guys, it's in that area right here. Right in that, between these two red candles. So this is a nice little trend line right here. Looking at this on the 15s, you can tell that you can still draw that trend line. It's taking a lot of power to break through that 24 area, 2405. Now this is where I may need to average in some more just for that spike to catch the top. Because I don't think you can sustain that movement right there. Just wait for it. This is going to be a 1-minute entry. Just look at that. So this is going to squeeze a lot of people out. $24.03 possible entry. Okay, Jeremy Newby just announced that he's shorting AMAT at 63.48. Okay, I'm entering at the 1 minute. Where's it going? Up here? 20. What's this right here? What's this one right here? 24.28. Oh, that's sick. This is crazy. Okay. I'm gonna let this do its thing and then I'm gonna add. I'm gonna check out AMAT real fast. So it's aiming for that 24.28. You know, that's just how it goes. It's being a pain in the ass. So this is definitely gonna go now. This what you're seeing right now is Thinkorswim, but I use I use Lightspeed. And I am talking to TradeNet to opening up another account. Just to so I can show you guys 2427. Watch out for 2428. Yeah, no, I don't know any other platform other than Thinkorswim that gives you so much. I mean, it's ridiculously complicated. Hold on one second. Entry at 2419. Okay, I just announced that I'm going to double in ones because it's just not ideal to give you a number because it keeps going. So I'm gonna try to catch it before it passes the previous 1 minute candle. So right now the previous ones is 2424. There, I'm in. At 2424.
Check.
One second, guys. It always a pullback when it breaks something. It always does a pullback before it breaks something. Yeah, yeah. Like it wants that 2428, right? This one is. This one did not go. Did not go as planned. So I'm not happy about that, obviously. But this is what's happening right now. It's going up to this area right here, and now it's passing it up. It's going up to here now, 2431. So right now, guys, my average is 2405 all the way down here. So this is what happens when I just like sit back and relax and let it pass me up, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So just gotta wait for it, guys, because it's making that move up, and then I'm gonna have to add to make it go down. Worst case scenario, guys, is that it goes up and it stays up there, and that is really
SMPL.
rare, really, really rare. just like those gap trades and the penny stocks. It's very rare that it pops up and it's not a scam and it doesn't go down. It just does. So keep scanning this, see where it's going to go. 24.47. So I may have to pull out some. And this is why I'm thinking about opening up a TradeNet account again, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. But of course, I don't want you guys following the amount of shares. But with TradeNet, you're really limited on your actions. Okay, I'm adding again. At 24.20. 24.26.
Fang.
Actually caught it at 24.24. It's too slow. So I added twice on 24.24. So now my average is 24.17. Okay, I'm in the green now finally. What a pain in the ass. But the problem with that, guys, is, and this is why I'm hesitant to show you my shares, is that I was a little bit higher than I needed to be in shares for something that looked that shitty, you know? I try not to cuss, but this was a shit move because that's basically what happens a lot of times when they try to spook you out of a trade. So you have to stay within your parameters. My parameters were down here, but this is why I continually scan this entire thing right here, because there are other trend lines way above that I didn't expect it to hit. And if it hit up here, I'll probably cry inside a little bit because that's not expected at all. I expected it just to go to 24. And that's what happened on Friday as well. Okay, this is good. Let me try to get out of this piece of shit. 20. Looking at the bid and ask, but it's going to come back down here somewhere. This is what the 15s looks like. Here are the 5s. And it's coming back to that 9 EMA. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to take it there if it gets down to, okay. There it drops. Maybe it'll come down to 23.94. Okay, I'm out at 24.06. So that was obviously, if I didn't know what the hell I was doing and I started panicking, this could obviously turn into a red trade. But I was able to roughly break even with a plus 10 cents. But at that time, guys, and the good and the bad about it is that it didn't look right near the very end, but it was still hitting trend lines. And I was still able to chase it based on the size of my trade. I mean my account. So
PRGO.
let me just type this out real fast on the Discord. Those guys are in AMAT, and it's looking really good. Look at that. It went as accordingly. So at the very end, guys, just to, if you want to look back, but I was basically up about my 10 cents at the end, what accrued about 2,400 shares, about. If you want to know the amount of pressure there could be, if you really if you really focused on the money, it would have been really hard. So let's not try to get into that again. But that is obviously not a good example of how to trade. But green is green.
TLRY. PRGO.
Okay, now when the lady in the trade ideas start spitting out a whole bunch of different stocks, the one thing you want to take a look at, and Jeremy Newby even mentioned it, the SPY is not helping. So because he's trying to short something, and if you look at that, if you recall it, if you ever watched my YouTube video on the strategy of counter trend, I mentioned how the SPY is kind of like the wind. So if SPY is blowing up like this, and you see that volume, if it's going to blow it up, a lot of stocks are going to go up with it. It's just the trend of things. So, but the thing is, if you're counter trending something and shorting it, and it still goes red while SPY is going green, that's actually a beautiful thing. That means the stock is so strong that it can go against the wind. But when SPY is turning red and you're shorting something that was going green, I mean going red regardless, be prepared for a nice little push down. So we see a little bit of red there. Let's see what AMAT does. Oh, we'll see what happens. It looks like it's going a little bit sideways right now. So since I'm out of something, let's talk about Jeremy Newby's AMAT. So
TLRY.
let's look at the daily here on AMAT. So this is ideal on the daily, guys, because it broke this area right here. This high was 6307, and right now it's 6345. Let me make sure to look further back in the weekly. Yeah, it's never hit past that number right there. So 60 high of a, what's that? 6307, and then a 6355. So it's pretty high up there. Now, on the 15s, it fixed itself down here, with no regards to its volume, and then it went straight up. That probably has something to do with the SPY, and now it's kind of sitting up there, and now it created on the 5 minute, it created a very small bull flag, and the volume is kind of dying a bit. So there are some things not going forward, but if you just stand back and look at it, it looks like it needs to go down. So the ideal thing right here, guys, is to make sure your average is within this range here. Make sure your average is within here, because if it goes past and goes up, the chances is it's going to have to settle back down around this area. It has to come back. Not have to, but at this time, it does. Reese, excellent lesson in trade management. A lot of new traders go full size right off the bat, leaving no room to manage your ability to be patient. Oh, thanks, Reese. This is definitely something that I don't want to look back on because it's not something in trading, guys. They'll teach you a lot of lessons you don't want to learn or you don't want to remember because it's not how things generally are. So you want to remember the ones that always happen correctly, not the anomalies, right? Anomalies are those statistically the ones that don't go accordingly. And that one kind of went accordingly. It just hit those trend lines that didn't. I bet right now if I look at it, it's probably making me look bad. There it is. It made me look pretty bad. It went down a lot further than I thought it would because I got punked out. I think I did. Wait, I exited around 24.
PRGO.
So, okay, I actually called it pretty good. But guys, so if I look back at this one, it went up to here, right? And you could draw a trend line right here. See that? Where it stopped here and here. And I didn't expect it. But you have to be able, that's why I keep having to look back. I don't want like a tons of red lines going across. Then you know, the more red lines you have, the less empowering each line is. But you can draw these trend lines, and they do get there. So there is always a pattern. There's always a strategy somewhere. There's always a stopping point, basically. But I didn't predict it correctly. And, you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm still 90 percentile. And right now, this is still a green, but I'll call it a null because I don't like to share these kind of things. It kind of makes people. If I were a beginner trader, I would not know how to average to get up there. A lot of people don't have that many shares or an account and once that goes against them, they start panicking, their heart starts palpitating, and then you will need to add a lot more in when you get up there. That's not going to happen. You're just going to be really uncomfortable. Hey, what's going on, Merch? Yeah, 24/6. Thank you, Reed. A lot. So yeah, my exit was actually okay. But guys, take a look at this. So
PRGO.
right now they're talking about AMAT because Jay Newby's in it, but um, um, I don't know what to say about that. But thank you, Double Dip. Um, it's just not ideal to.
MXIM.
I'm just going to pretend that never happened. even though it's gonna be on YouTube and it'll be wrong to erase it. Yeah, thanks, Reese. Something that only comes with experience. Yeah, thanks.
PRGO.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, and I don't like looking at ugly things, so let's just pretend that didn't happen. But here's what's happening with AMT. AMAT is pretty much doing the same thing as SMPL, except it looks more like it's going to fade because the volume is so low here. We don't want it to. I wonder if I can draw it. Actually, I can.
DNLI.
Let me just do this. Like, let me print this screen here. Just draw on it. There are a few things that could happen here that I can see. Let me zoom out.
MXIN.
Up. Save. There's gotta be a faster way. Newbie. JNewbie. I'm gonna call this chart JNewbie. Alright. Where is it? Where did I put that chart? Damn, I need. Oh, there it is. All right. Align. Oh gosh, guys, I wish I had my I wish I had my pencil. All right, so ideally this is what I wanted to happen, just like it didn't kind of, it did happen on Friday, but I didn't catch the top as well. That's always a problem, not catching the right top. But but it will go the action that you presume. So this is just a rainbow here. The volume is going straight on now. Pencil? Let's use pen. Is that pen? Ah, I'm failing. Erase this. Oh, whatever. You get the idea. All right, so the volume is going downwards, and this is just basically curling down like this, right? That's basically ideal. And we want to pass this area up. Okay, and the other thing that may happen, what we don't want it to happen, is for the volume to start rising up as it goes here, it starts rising, and then it'll just like pass this area a little bit, volume rises, and then it'll pop back up. It'll shoot back up. And it's like it's resetting itself. So that's what we don't want. For the volume to go up while it kind of trickles downwards. Then just like everyone's slamming on the brakes and it's gonna fly back up. So let's not have that happen. And then the more scary one, like what happened to my stock, would be for the volume to start to to shoot up right when it passes the previous high, and it goes so high that it's going to have to come back down. And that to me is more beautiful because it has a lot more power, more gravity for it to come back down. Yeah, really, double dip. It's hanging by a thread. Right now let's just see what happens here. Yeah, unfortunately, this looks like one of those that you're just gonna have to watch the paint dry. But if you're not in this one, and if you're interested in getting in, you can see that trend line right here, 63.38. I mean, this support line, and it's getting close to this 9 EMA, which is not a good thing. But if we just look further back, there is room for like what happened right here. It went up, it went sideways, and then it just kind of dived back down. So there are multiple areas where, like right here, 23.28, or if you really want to, look at the VWAP. The VWAP is always a nice one to look at because that's ridiculous. Look, the purple line is all the way down here at 62.72. So there is a potential. And then it was out of range. See that? This is how people look at VWAP, at least how I do. And I don't trade these because I just don't. But there are deciding factors. The lines of the VWAP and these outer bands basically let you decide what's going to happen next. So it goes up, it went a little bit past, it goes down. Once it hits VWAP, you have to decide if it's going to go back up or back down. And this one hit VWAP and it went back up. See, it really never just stays right here on the VWAP. It touches and goes. So right here, it's up here. For it to ride along this band is not possible, theoretically and statistically. So this is where you add to your conviction. If you really want it to go, I mean, you wanting it to go and it going is obviously two different things. But if you really want it to go, you really have to add on to the conviction. And if you keep looking at the different studies, your conviction may start becoming more realistic, right?
PRGO.
So when it goes up like this, a lot of you guys may start getting a little upset. But like I tried to draw like a kindergartner on that picture, watch for that volume to go up when it breaks up. When it breaks over the high, to me, at that moment, it obviously looks bad, but it's not a bad thing because it may just start tanking down any moment. So whenever that happens to me, the first thing I tell myself is keep blinking your eyes because I forget to blink. And then you're gonna have some really sore eyes the rest of the day. So just focus, but just let it do its thing. So here's a nice little exponential move. No volume there, but we'll see.
PRGO.
Merch. GS, can you take a look? Your thoughts, please. Sorry, I didn't see it until now. GS, let's see. Oh, GS, Goldman Sachs. Yeah. I don't really look at those. I don't really look at those merch because of the price. At that cost, oh,
DNLI.
I can't really do much trading with it. I can't. I can't compensate. And then the movement is smaller, right? There's a 50 cent range on GS, and at the moment from the highs
PRGO.
to where it's at right now, and yeah, it's just so expensive. I generally don't trade over maybe 150, and that's pretty high. And now it's at 200 something. Maybe the only thing that I would trade that is that high is maybe Tesla. This is in the 500s. Goldman Sachs is in 250. So I guess I really don't have an excuse to trade something like that. It's just that it's just expensive for a day trader. Goldman Sachs is trending upwards. If I were to trade this, it would be a swing trade. It would be in my swing trade portfolio. That and Tesla. But for a day trade, I don't know. For for a swing trade, I would look at it as a short very soon.
PRGO.
Yeah. So another I'm looking at the Discord app again. I'll put a link in the description, but it's under newbie trading, and you can join the chat room for free. They give out a lot of different ideas. Um, the the admin newbie trader, he actually tells you how much he's going in on, so you can see why he does so well. Or yeah, and he mentioned that the SPY won't stop. Well, you see how like this stock right here is going sideways, right? But the SPY itself, the wind is going straight up. So that's actually promising. The fact that this is going up and AMAT is going sideways. Let's wait for a move on SPY to go down. And when that happens, you just standing back a bit. SPY is doing this move like right here, exponentially. When it starts, yeah, look at that exponential move on SPY. SPY is a little bit, for me, it's a little bit more unpredictable. That's why I call it the wind. But when it does come back down, expect AMAT to go. And yeah, it just went. Nice. So, if you were in it, you would have probably entered right here at the break of this support line. Shit, too busy talking, but you get the idea. And I'm assuming SPY just kind of broke down a little bit, just a little bit for it to break down like that. Now, just continue watching SPY, and if it goes up a little bit and this is still going down, that means this is going to go down even more. And Jeremy Newby's covering more and more right now. If you guys like what I'm talking about and you want to be able to follow someone, you definitely want to be in the chat room because the chat room is 20 seconds faster probably than this stream right now. Hey, you're welcome, March. That's what I'm here for. Oh wow, I've been on for an hour and 45 minutes already. That's crazy. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to message me or something. You can private message me on Facebook if you want to be friends, or you could just ask me on the Discord and PM me. But don't put it in the general chat, please. We're trying to keep it as uncluttered as possible. But let's see now. Now the question is, where is it going to stop, right? So I don't like to keep studies on, but look at this. It got a long way to go. It has a long way to go, but it did pass up this support line. Now it's a resistance line, or resistance now is a support line, and VWAP's all the way down here, guys. So, but we do see the volume here. See how that volume just kind of went up? So we're going to see some major. People don't like the idea that it went down that quickly. I'm looking at the wrong chart. 1 minute chart right here. Volume is still a little bit low. I'm wrong. Even though it's showing green, keep looking at the SPY and see what SPY is doing. If SPY, the worst case scenario is if SPY goes red and this goes green, then you want to hold on to your pants or cover a little bit. Let's look at the moving average here. Exponential moving average 9-minute. Go to the 5, and it basically passed it up a bit. So there are two forms of conviction here. Here's a very conservative form of conviction. You could have gotten out by here, but look at that. That's very little bit of profit. By 30, if you broke past this base of 39, 37 down to, that's only 5 cents. That's not practical. That's not a practical study to use. Just wait for it, because the volume is still a little bit low. For me personally, I would have covered quite a bit, just like I think Jay Newby did too. He has 800 left. What is that? So guys, just to put it into perspective, for you newer guys that want to think about following him, if you have 800 shares, that's how much he has left. Okay, he went in with a lot more than that. You would need an account that is over $50,000, and which every pattern day trader has if they're in the States, because minimum is 25 with a 3 times buying power, 4 times buying power of 100, which equals to 100,000. So minimally, if you have 100,000, which you probably have a little bit more if you have if you're a pattern day trader, you're using half of all your buying power. I always use the 100,000 as my baseline. So you're using half of your buying power for something like this. For him, I'm fairly certain his buying power is a little bit higher than most average persons, and probably more than mine as well. So you need to bear in mind that his 800, his pain threshold of 800 buying power could be your pain threshold of 200, of a quarter of that. I see SPY going up. Wait for SPY to go down again, and so let's see what AMAT does. The moment SPY goes down really fast and AMAT doesn't, it just holds its place or actually goes up, it's a time that basically tells you you're almost done. But like I said, and we saw in the VWAP, there's a long way to go. I wouldn't use the VWAP. Where is it? This chart is so jacked. I need to fix it later. I wouldn't use the VWAP as your target. It would be awesome if it hit there. You may want to save a few if you're that greedy, but you know, it's hitting this area right here. You could draw a little bit of a line right here. You also can draw a line over here too. So you need to, you know, this is a good one right here. 63. 63 is actually a good area because of this previous high. Jeremy Newby may actually be hitting 3K today. Just gonna spread some rumors. I'm just gonna gossip. Yeah, we do have 3 hours. We have 3 hours left. Jeremy's going to hit his daily goal of $3,000. So if you haven't already, guys, you should just if you're a millennial and you have Instagram, or if you're trying to be young like me, uh, you can follow him on Newbie Trading. He posts pretty much all of his wins and losses, and he got like nice, pretty pictures of him in his plane. I think it's a jet even. I don't. I wish I knew what was going on, but yeah, that's a jet. Some pretty numbers. See how AMAT is holding while SPY is breaking highs? I have faith in you, Jeremy Newby. J-Man, you'll get there. 3K. I'm rooting for you. Just gotta add some pressure on him. Not that it matters. SPY's spiking. AMAT's holding. This is that bird that's flying against the wind here. That's holding in one place. Wait for SPY to go down, and let's see AMAT go down a little bit more. We want that volume to stay down. Otherwise, we have concerned traders about the position of AMAT at that moment. Look at that. AMAT is going
MNTA.
down as SPY is going up. That suggests it's going to go down more. And kids, this is why those of everybody who's saying they use their phone to trade, you can't trade like this with one monitor. I mean, personally, I need a big chart. I see a lot of people using small charts. I'm just not like that. But you need at least 2 charts. And you see me flicking around 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute one day. I'd rather have 3 charts open, all with different time frames of the same stock. That way I can just look around. So that's why I have multiple monitors. And right now I'm clicking back and forth because I have 2 platforms on. I consolidated my trade ideas in a corner. I have the Discord app up, and I have the streaming app up. So Double Dip says he wants to see 63. Yeah, I agree. 63 looks promising. SPY is going down, and AMAT is holding. So that is not that great of a look. But let's see. It does look like it wants to just kind of dip down. Let's see this double dip down. Man, my nose. Houston weather is not that great right now. Okay, there you go. There's the red print. Let me just show you what SPY looks like. SPY wants to go down. It just went exponential and it wants to go down. Maybe it needs to go sideways a little bit before it has some more action. Yeah, it's going to probably break past this area It's not going to stay sideways here. That's just ridiculous. It needs to go down a little bit more. That's my suggestion for SPY. And this right here is going down. So yeah, I'm getting long-winded now. My nose is messing with me, and I need to get ready to go do some other stuff. But yeah, I do think it has the potential to go to the 63. Don't get greedy. Start covering if you haven't already. Um, that's my suggestion. But it has this beautiful move, this look, and I will continually look at the wind to see which way it's blowing, because if it pops up and it's all, it
MNTA.
could be just because the wind is pushing it that way. But we want sideways movement when SPY is going up. That's basically the point. Let me see. Merch, I have a small position on margin with GS since last week. Probably sell all of and got in at 237.74. 237.74. What? GS right now is 248.
PGNY.
You got it. It looks. Okay, well, in that case, congratulations, man. 237. Oh, you got it right at the breakout. Kind of. I see it. Let me just switch over to talk about Merch's swing trading. GS. He got it at 237. 237.74. Right around here. Yeah, around here. That would have been scary, in my opinion, because you caught it as it's rising. But luckily, it went up. So it's just so unpredictable. See, what I see here is that when it goes up, and then you got a 237.74, I would have predicted it to go down a little bit, but it just flew higher and higher. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to short your gains, but it does look extended. It really does. But yeah, that's
PGNY.
I would be pretty happy right now. Congratulations, man. And there it goes.
Down.
It is double dipping down to 30 to 63. Wow. I was obviously in the wrong trade. But you know, it just happens. These things just happen. I mean, well, it goes to show the difference between AMAT is it has the daily, the all-time high, I think, on the daily. Look at that. On the daily, it's on the all-time high. So it's the chances of it coming down is greater within the day than a chart like mine on the daily, near bouncing off the base, bouncing off a support line on the daily. So why would it want to come back when it has all this to come back with on the daily? So there's mine had a little bit more reason to not work out as well. So looking back at this, there's your trend line right here, pointing here, here, and here, 63. But you know, there's also right here, and that's where it's at. So it looks like I made a good call on the SMPL. That would have easily gone against me. So it was damage control. But other than that, you know, whatever. It's Monday. Is it Monday? No, it's Tuesday. Okay, so doing good so far. May just hopefully get a better trade tomorrow. But overall, let me know if this is helping you guys. I mean, this is 2 hours worth of talking, but I just want to be able to know that I'm hitting every little point in trade in certain areas of trading. I should get it. I should try to show you the level two some to understand, but that with is necessary, but it's secondary to shape and understanding the behavior of a stock. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. And 2 hours is a long time for a stream. So take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. All right.